Anime fans, One Piece fans, what is good? The answer to that question, of course, is One Piece. One Piece is what's good, and today we're going to be talking about why Nami will actually keep Zeus. So, as we all know, Nami acquired Big Mom's homie Zeus into her Climatox and she's able to use Zeus's power, and Zeus likes her because she gives him tasty clouds, and she also kind of made Zeus fear her, you know what I mean? So Nami kind of has Zeus as an asset and as a weapon to do whatever she has to do, but a lot of people are saying that Nami will lose Zeus and Big Mom will take Zeus back, but I actually do believe that Nami is going to keep Zeus and Zeus will be a permanent asset at her disposal. Now, I'm not saying there's no way Big Mom will take Zeus back. I actually think that is a plausible theory and it definitely could happen, but I don't think it will. I think Nami's going to keep Zeus. So the first reason, which is kind of a weaker reason, but Oda usually, when he gives people power-ups, he usually doesn't take it away, you know what I mean? If he gives somebody a major power-up like Zeus increases Nami's power exponentially, and I don't think he's going to take that away and leave her back to where she was weaker than everybody else, which she still is weaker than a lot of people, but now she has a Yonko cloud, so she's definitely stronger than she was before, and more useful than she was before, and has more fighting capabilities than she did before, and to strip that away from her would leave her behind and leave her far back, and it would just kind of make no sense why he would give Zeus to her. I could see Big Mom taking Zeus back, then Nami taking Zeus back, you know what I mean? But I don't think he would permanently take Zeus away from her because she already learned how to use Zeus. Zeus is already a power-up that she implements and uses in her everyday life, you know what I mean? And in her battles, so I don't think that he's going to take that away. I don't think that would make sense. I know that's not the strongest of reasons, but that's just not something Oda usually does, so I think it's fairly credible. And my next reason is probably my biggest reason. So we know that Zeus is heavily connected to Big Mom. She made him out of her own soul, which means that he is almost her in a sense, or so it would seem. So Prometheus, Zeus, and Napoleon were all made like that, and they're all extremely loyal to Big Mom, at least from the get-go. But here's my theory. I think that if Big Mom makes a homie powerful enough, they are a whole separate entity from her, and they are their own individual being, and they are their own new life, not bound to Big Mom. And what I mean by that is, we know a lot of the weaker homies, they're completely bound to Big Mom. Like, they can't do anything without her. Like, they won't betray her because they're her slaves. She made the homies, and then they're her slaves. But I think that if she makes a powerful homie enough, like with her own soul, they are not her slaves. They are loyal to her from the get-go, but the option to leave or do their own thing is there. They just don't really think about it because that never crossed their mind. The opportunity never presented itself. But I think with Zeus, once the opportunity presented itself and he realized he could, and he decided he wanted to go with Nami, he did it because that's what he wanted to do. I believe that the Sorcerer no Mi, it doesn't just make slaves. If it's powerful enough, it can make a whole new life that's not completely bound to the user of the Sorcerer no Mi. Because I think if Big Mom died, a lot of the homies would die as well, but probably not Zeus, Prometheus, or Napoleon because they're so powerful. That's just kind of my theory about the Sorcerer no Mi, because Zeus was part of Big Mom. He was made of her soul. He was one of her top weapons. He was Zeus. He was Big Mom's cloud, you know what I mean? But he still left her. He had the sentience. He had the individuality to leave Big Mom. That's kind of big. That's more big than people give it credit for, because I know Nami threatened him and all that, but even so, if he was completely bound to Big Mom and her slave, he shouldn't have been able to do that, because remember, even Prometheus was scolding Zeus for kind of following Nami's trail of cloud because he was saying you're being stupid. If he was Big Mom's mindless slave, he would not have done that, and Prometheus wouldn't have been scolding him, you know what I mean? I think that Prometheus and Napoleon, they also have the capacity to do the same, but they don't want to, or they just never thought about it because the opportunity never presented itself. And not saying that if the opportunity presented itself that they would betray Big Mom, but that would be an option. I think that those three have the sentience enough to do that, and I believe that the power of the Sorcerer no Mi, the downside of it is that that can happen. If you make a powerful enough homie, it becomes its own new life that you have sway over. Because if Big Mom walks up on Zeus, it's not like he's gonna be like, get lost. He's gonna be scared, and he might go back to her out of fear. But I think that they are ultimately their own life, even if the user of the Source Stone to me, the person who created them, has sway over them. They don't have ultimate control over them like a lot of the homies. So I do believe that Big Mom will try to take Zeus back in Wano, and I think that will be kind of a bonding moment for Zeus and Nami, and kind of a moment where it shows how strong they are together. I believe that Zeus will deny Big Mom. Big Mom will try to take him back. He might start going out of fear, but I think that Nami will get him back. Even if he goes with Big Mom, Nami would get him back later on, but I think it definitely could fall out that Big Mom's like, Zeus, come here. And then Zeus is like, no, I am staying with Nami, because he is his own life. He is a sentient being who is separate from Big Mom, and I think he'll break the sway she has over him, because he left her one time, you know what I mean? He left Big Mom, he denied Big Mom and went with Nami one time. I don't see why he couldn't do it again. Even if it wasn't Big Mom there in person per se, I think that he and Nami will be closer to the point that he will be able to do that, and he will be able to deny Big Mom, because as I've said so many times, I truly believe that Zeus, Prometheus, and Napoleon are their own separate beings now, because they were made from Big Mom's soul. They're powerful enough, and I believe that's the downside of the Source Stone on me. It doesn't just make slaves if you put enough effort into it, and I'm not sure Big Mom knows that. So I believe that Zeus will deny Big Mom. Zeus is his own life, and he is going to stay with Nami, because, as I said also, why would Oda give Nami a power-up she can't leave? She can't keep? Why would he give her a power-up that's going to leave her? Why would he give her a huge power-up, make her way stronger, and then just take her right back down with no way back up? That doesn't make sense. The Straw Hats are the Pirate King's crew. They're going to get crazy power-ups. They're going to become crazy strong. They're going to become the strongest pirate crew in the world. And that does include people like Nami and Chopper. They're not going to be the strongest of the crew, but they're going to be part of the strongest crew in the world, which means they're going to be able to defend themselves. They're going to be able to destroy people, you know what I mean? And I think that has been a Yonko Cloud, or former Yonko Cloud, when Big Mom, when her grip on Zeus dissipates, that's going to be part of Nami's big power, you know what I mean? Part of her power as one of the crew of the Pirate King. So that is why I believe that Zeus will not leave Nami, and that Nami is going to keep Zeus. Big Mom won't be able to take him back, or even if she does, Nami will get Zeus back from her, because Zeus will be able to decide that by himself is what it comes down to. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, and only if you enjoy my content, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more One Piece content, and I will see you in the next video.